Okay, welcome back to the Sanctuary Educate show. I just wanted to do a little short introduction to what today's video is going to be about. Yeah, we touched on the rugby because there's a big game coming up on the weekend between Wales and Ireland, but we don't go too deep into that. The big topic today, though, is the advice gap. It's something that really concerns us, and there's a reason why we built the Sanctuary Educate platform, is because the advice gap out there, people being actually able to get advice and be able to afford advice, is growing. The fact that, advisors like us can't afford to take every single client on, and the banks are not helping. There's no one really out there helping. So there's a huge gap and something needs to be done about it. So today's episode, we're actually going to talk about that and get into the depths of what we think the potential answers are and how people can educate themselves about money. Yeah, we hope you love what we do, so please share with your friends, family, and anyone you think can benefit from us. And we'd love you to subscribe, because the more you subscribe, the more exposure we get and the more people we can help out there. Thanks very much and enjoy today's show.
Hello and welcome to Sanctuary Educate podcast, where we will talk all things mindset, money management, and our entrepreneurial journey. Along the way, we're going to throw in some amazing guests for your pleasure. I'm Shane Highland.
I'm Gareth Shears. This show is going to change your life and teach you skills that school never taught you.
Boom. Welcome everyone.
3, 2, 1, I was like Dusty Bin. Did you ever watch that?
A new setup.
Yeah.
Now, remember, I'm west of Ireland. Some of the programmes now weren't.
Who was that on, Dusty Bin?
Don't remember it, I'll be honest.
You used to do 3, 2, 1. Did you do 3, 2, 1? I think it was. Can't remember who he was.
Can't remember. Anyway.
No, yeah, anyway. How's the weekend?
I think it happened. It's all kind of fog.
Yeah, we had busy ends to the week last week, didn't we? You were at a awards event in Birmingham with Claire.
Lovely curry. Superb.
And I was at an event. I was at a charity event in Cardiff, wasn't I, on a Friday afternoon.
Was that a lead up to the Six Nations?
Yeah, it was. Well, it was
before it all kicked off.
Yeah, before Steve Phillips stood down. Well, he had no choice, really, did he? I don't want to get into the politics of it, but I watched the documentary and yeah, it wasn't good. But I think it's the old school nature of
let's park rugby and let's do rugby next week, because basically it'll be the game will be over by the time we record next week, won't it? Oh, we can chat
each other, aren't we?
We can chat. Yeah.
Go on then. Who's going to win? Well, I know what you're going to say.
If I had 50 quid, which I don't, I'd like to put Ireland by 17 points, just because it'd be at big odds. I don't know is the answer. I think we should win.
Oh, on paper, world number one.
That doesn't mean anything. I'll take a 6-3 win. Thank you. Bye bye.
World number one, yeah. Yeah. What will we about number 20 in the world?
I think 72 or something like that.
Somewhere behind Namibia.
We were an up and coming team, as one of our previous guests, Phil Davis, knows that, because I think. Oh no, it wasn't. Did Phil work with Namibia?
Oh, I don't know.
I think he worked with someone like that.
Yeah, we got nothing to lose. You've got all to lose, technically, and it's on our home turf, isn't it?
Well, I bloody hope so, because I'm going to it, and if I turn up next Saturday to a stadium,
yeah, when you meant to be in the Viva Stadium, yeah,
there's no one here.
Okay, we'll run you close. I don't think we'll beat you, but we'll run you close.
We have lots to talk about.
You're not going to run away with it.
A short time in here. But I spoke to my my parents yesterday on the phone. It was my dad's birthday. Belated happy birthday, Dad. And as you know, I come from a small little village in the west of Ireland. There's about 4,000 people. One of my friends is coming over on Friday for the rugby. And my parents went, "Do you know the Burke lad? That's how they do it." And I go, "No. What? He's going to the rugby on Saturday." And there was a pause. And I think the pause was waiting for me to say, "Oh, do you know what? What if they're coming over? Don't worry. I'll go to the airport and collect them and bring them into town and all this." And I haven't. So, guys, if happy to do a taxi run. Obviously, it'll cost you a few beers and that. But that's what it's like in our little village. because somebody's coming over to the big city now, there's an expectation that the person here that's living here, I'm going to meet up and bring them
the only Irish person in Cardiff.
Yeah. I'm going to show them around the place, and I have the power to knock on doors and get into these pubs and wherever when there's going to be hundreds of people queuing. So best of luck, boys. If we see you on St. Mary Street,
Caroline Street, probably.
I won't be out that late. Anyways,
you can go to Caroline Street any day of the week,
but it's only fun if it's dark. And everyone.
Yes, weird when you go there sober. Anyone who's been on Caroline Street sober or early in the evening knows it's a bit weird. You can do it on all day, it's all right.
Have we anything important to talk about today?
We always got something important about. It's the nature of what we do.
More important than the rugby.
I don't think anything's more important than rugby, is it? I lie probably.
This is what you get with the Welsh. The start of the Six Nations, right? November.
It's all we live for.
They wanted to ban the sport of rugby because they were in a bad place. God came back. He has changed their mentality, and now they're just chomping at the bit.
He was never called the Great Redeemer, was he? That was...
It's because he never came back.
Who was that? Went to New Zealand, didn't he?
Graham Henry.
Graham Henry. He was classed as the Great Redeemer. Was he actually any that good, though, really? He was in New Zealand, in fairness. But not with us. But anyway, yeah, the advice gap.
It's getting
a big
bigger.
Topic.
It's getting bigger.
Well, yeah. Well, the study that IntelliFlow did said it's getting bigger, and I've got to agree to an extent. I know there's more people out there trying to seek financial advice, but as we know, it's not easy to take. We can't take every client on because our costs have gone through the roof. Our PII's gone up. Our levies to the Financial Conduct Authority have gone up, which obviously cover the FOS, Financial Service Compensation Scheme, and all that. The cost of running the office, the cost of everything has kind of gone up to run the business. So
doesn't help but 4 lights being on here.
No, exactly. But it's true. Everything has gone up, and I understand. In reality, and I'll go out on a bit of a limb, I think anything less than 100, 150,000 of investable assets, most advisors can't really deal with you anymore.
No.
Unless you can go on a retainer basis, but then can people afford a retainer? Like we run a retainer model as well. But can people afford it? And actually, do people really think it's, essential for that?
The words, I think, make a big difference. And it's a bit like the term saving and investing. And we've done that numerous times, so I'm not going to go into it again. But this advice gap that they're talking about, I think that is a blanket term that covers far too many things. Yes, if somebody gets an inheritance of X amount of £100,000 or has a big pension scheme and is about to retire, there is a requirement for advice which is regulated, which touches on the tax efficiency and stuff like that. But those people, to a degree, I know it's kind of a flippant statement, are okay. The people, in my view, that need the most, not help, working with, are those that don't have the large sums of money, and they're either younger, starting off, or they need coaching, educating, accountability. And like I said, that's where the gap is at the moment, because I think it is a thing of, well, I'm never going to get there, so I can't be bothered. But every single thing makes a difference. Every small amount that you save, invest, a bit like, being in a gym, every rep that you do does actually count. But you don't see it immediately. You don't just go, I'm going to do a set in the gym and all of a sudden I'm going to have arms the size of Arnie had in the 70s. It has to be constant and it has to be over time. But that all comes back to an education. So the advice gap is almost an education gap as well, in my view.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I think, but I think there are more, if you look at the stats, there are more people seeking financial advice, but I think they're turning up the place and going, and people say how much you got to invest, and they're like 10, 20 grand.
Which is a lot of money.
Which is a lot of money to them, I get that.
And even to all of us.
100%. It is a lot of money.
From a business point of view, we can't service that.
No, we can't, because, what are you going to charge them to set their ISA up, set their pension up, and so on and so forth? what's the answer? The banks are not the answer because the banks don't want it. Most banks now, a minimum, I want to say somewhere between 250 and 500 minimum investable assets before they even put you in front of a financial planner. And I say financial planner with the loosest sense of the term.
Well, it'll be
just
in-house.
salespeople.
It'll be in-house.
There's no financial planning going on there in the banks, is there?
In-house pot. Not that I think there might be one or two banks that are looking to come back into it, but like you say, they know from history.
It's literally going to be sales.
It's going to be a huge.
It's going to be selling products.
It's going to be a huge entry level amount to make it beneficial for them.
Yeah, so what are your answers? The banks, well, they're not really doing it. Find some useless, unqualified, untrained person on YouTube who's going to tell you a load of rubbish. That's the next one. Other social media channels are going to be very similar. Money coaches, I think, is probably the way forward. I think that's becoming more and more seen in the UK, especially, is money coaching. But obviously, they're not really going to go down the lines of the regulated advice things, but they'll give you guidance on what you can do with your money and how you can save for the future. And that's, like we can't just take any client on, and we've seen that. We got people coming through the door who you're like, I'd love to be able to help, and that was partly the reason why we put together our subscription service, wasn't it? Because we are well placed to do the money coaching and actually provide an option for clients who, can't really afford to pay for full financial advice, but need some sort of guidance and coaching with money in the future.
Yeah. I read over the weekend 3 different things, and they all kind of go into the same thing. I can't think of the guy's first name. He's Lewis. He does Money Box on BBC 4. He's a guy with grey hair.
Oh,
not Steve Lewis. Paul Lewis, isn't it?
Paul Lewis, yeah.
I saw on the weekend he was giving guidance on what life insurance and critical illness insurance people need. And he has been pulled up on it, going, you don't need life insurance if you're a single person. You need decreasing term assurance if you're this, that and the other. And in fairness, he probably stays within the parameters of education.
He sits in the grey area, doesn't he? Because if he's turning around, you need a decrease in term policy with Zurich, then okay, he's going into advice.
But he's got an audience, and so people are listening to him.
Well, he has got an audience,
but he's wrong. There is also a guy yesterday in the Sunday Times. I'll have to pull him out, and I'll talk about it in a week or two's time. And he's been talking about how he doesn't believe that passive investing is the way forward, and his returns have made 9.3% in excess of passive over the last 12 months. Now, this is a guy who is basically a money bot. He knows about money and that, and he's investing directly in shares himself, and he's telling people what shares he is buying directly with the Sunday Times. And you're kind of going, guys, that is as bad as Hargreaves Lansdown giving you the 150 best companies to invest in. That is technically giving advice. And then I read somewhere over the weekend where, and it was a great comparison.
But because they're not regulated,
there's no comeback.
If we do it, we're regulated, so it's seen as a no-no. Yeah. But if we weren't as qualified as we are and weren't financial advisors, we could be out there telling people to do what the hell they want. If I say, there's no comeback on it.
Coca-Cola are going to bring out a new strawberry flavoured Coke. I think they're a great company now to invest in, and somebody does that and they bomb, I'm in trouble because I got a regulated license, and it's not fair. The last one I read was a really, really good point, and it was talking about money psychology, and it was the FOMO, the fear of missing out, and how crypto seems to be that way, because cryptocurrency, I'll get the book on it next week, was the new thing to do, and it was predominantly younger people, and they had the FOMO of everyone's making money, I want to jump in on it now, and it was the guys went, it was no different to gambling. So you've got all of these 3 things.
It was gambling.
FOMO, Paul Lewis, and the guy in the Sunday Times, all talking about this. All of these people have a piece of traction on some sort of social media or on TV or on radio. And like you said, I think bring the strings all together, I think what is needed is probably, if it's not advice, if there's a gap, it is you called it a money coach for accountability, to make sure that people do right things at the right time.
Teach you the right habits. Teach you the right habits. educate on things you didn't know, like even educate you about what an ISA is, what a pension is, what a bond is, what a general investment account is, cash savings, cash deposits. People need that education because they don't understand it. Like the amount of people who don't join their work scheme or only put the minimum in. Well, actually, if you can afford a little bit more into your work pension, it's going to help you in the long term.
I have to put a bit of warning on this now. I hope my wife doesn't watch this bit. Helen, sorry. But for a long time, she was chatting about the bank she's with. And she'd be asking about money and where is your savings account? Well, it's in my whatever bank high interest savings account. What's it paying? I don't know. It's high interest savings account. And when we dug down, eventually I got her to give me the piece of paper. It had 0.15%. But this is where, and my wife is very intelligent, so I've caveated that. I've said, she doesn't.
No, but that's what the banks did, though, didn't they?
But it shows that the education side, even the simplistic things for people, when it almost comes to money, sometimes words sound good, but the numbers are rubbish.
And we trust the institution.
We trust the institution. So
I wouldn't trust the bank as far as you could throw them.
A lot of it comes back when we said about education. We need to go down to a level of re-educating people that is very simple and start the very simplistic concepts, understandings, behaviours and habits, and create that as a foundation or a base and construct from there on in. And yeah, some people will have more knowledge and understanding and better knowledge than others, but some won't. But I think as a society, for both adults and children, we need to basically break it all down, start at the very, very bottom again, and just educate from a very simplistic level upwards.
Yeah, exactly that. And that's what's kind of lacking out there. And unless you can afford it at the moment, you're not going to get that. But then I don't think you get that level of education even if you went to see a financial advisor. Really, they're just going to invest.
The vast majority, no.
And I think that's why money coaching has got to be brought into it, really. And that's why we've built the Sanctuary Educate platform, and it's going to have a subscription service. You can come in at a very low level for less than £10 a month, where you'll get access to free webinars and recordings of webinars, which not everyone will get, plus a lot of other things in there. We'll do monthly Ask Us Anything lives, even right up to our £99 a month version, which is actually a lot more kind of hands-on. There is coaching involved in that. And we got a mid-range one as well. But yeah, it's going to give people that option to access some sort of money advice.
Yeah. There's been a huge, and we know because we've seen the numbers of people that have registered their interest so far. It does seem to bridge that gap with, and it's amazing the amount of people that have registered interest. We know of those people, and a lot of them are business owners that are not cash rich in a banking sense, but are making a lot of money per month.
Yeah.
But they just don't have, as you said earlier, the £250,000 at this moment in time. But they know that they need hand-holding guidance and working with to start constructing the right plans for them, so that it enables them to use the profits or the extra that they can push to the side out of the business for the longer term then. And that's a very simplistic way of looking at it. But I was amazed by some of these people that showed genuine interest going, they're very successful in what they do. They're young. They understand, listening to what we said in the past, the need to start these behaviours and habits at an early stage. They have a small disposable amount that they can do, but they don't have enough per month to do a financial advice thing because there isn't that. So it does bridge a gap at the moment on this advice gap, whether it is an advice gap or not.
Yeah, so we'll link to our Sanctuary Educate in the notes below. There is an option out there for people. I think that's the kind of thing. But I see, you don't get me wrong, you may fit into the advice model and there will be some things that can be helped with. But if you don't, like, we have an option. Not everyone will have those options. I actually say a vast majority of financial advisors won't have that option because they're not interested in it. But it's something we want to do. We want to help people create good habits. We want to educate the nation in money and really help them. And we can do that from the platform we've created. And
we know why financial advisors, financial planners, don't have this side of the business, or the vast majority of the 26,000, It's because it's not as profitable as financial advice. Yeah. There is a shed load more money to be made through looking after, managing, or whatever it's called, assets under management than helping people create habits, behaviors, and grow. So from the point of view of us doing it, we're not doing it from a business point of view to be more profitable. Yes, we will make a bit of profit, but if we stuck to what we know that we've done over 30 years plus, we will make a shed load more money. But as we say all the time, it's not about money.
No.
It's about happiness, the whole concept. So this is our happiness. We enjoy working with people. We enjoy imparting our knowledge to people. We enjoy educating people. So part of our business now going forward is going to be working to educate people.
Yeah, exactly.
Not as profitable as financial advice, but that doesn't bother us. And that's why you won't find it out there with the vast majority of financial advising firms, because that side will not be as profitable to them. I know that sounds wrong, but that's what they'll be doing.
Exactly that.
So stay tuned. It's on its way. Obviously, priority is at this moment in time is making sure we get our book out at the moment, which is the 8th of February. And then once that's done, I think on the back of the book there is a QR code. See, we're down with 21st century technology, which will allow you then, once the book has been downloaded or bought, to click, which will take you via the QR code directly to the Educate page that we have. Yeah. So you'll be able to see a lot more information. But that should be going probably live around 1st of March. I think we're gonna start looking to do our first webinar.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed this episode, then please subscribe and remember to follow us on social media for more content like this.